Isn't there a hum along or something that I heard on the last podcast? One of you started.
Little harmony. Yeah, I might have to try that again.
Maybe that was one of the basketball coaches that was doing it.
It was.
Nampa.
Yep.
Matt and Tyler on the show.
Welcome to Nampa.
Where dreams can grow.
That was Will.
I can't get to that note.
On the show. Welcome to Nampa. Hear the beat. Join the podcast. Take your seat.
All right, well, welcome into episode 14 of the Nampa School District Podcast. My name is Tyler Keefe. I am the Digital Communications Specialist for the Nampa School District. And with me, as always, and back in person is Matt Sizemore.
Hello. It is good to see you, as always. It's good to be standing upright, and just had myself a little knee surgery last Friday. Everything's going well so far, and that's fun. That's all I got on that.
Well, you know, at least they didn't cut off the wrong leg.
Yeah.
Because that would have been an issue.
I made sure many times to say left knee, and they do check with you several times. Left knee, right? Left knee. Yeah,
left knee. Yeah. Well, today we get to go back to the barber shop with Will Barber.
Welcome in, District Activities Director Will Barber, taking us to the barber shop. Apparently, that's a good line right there. How you doing, Will?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me back. Sorry, getting back on this stage here and start laughing. You guys just have such a great time with this, and just listening to all the people that you've brought in has been great. And yeah, thanks for having me back.
Of course. I need to ask, first off, has anybody else used the barbershop reference? I can only imagine that somebody, or even yourself, like, welcome to the barbershop.
Well, matter of fact, a media guide my sophomore year at Fullerton Junior College, where I played baseball. On the media guide, the cover, it was, "You will not get a good cut from this barber." I was, and obviously I was a pitcher for the program. And
okay, well that's good. I was going to say
part of the media guide was, you're not going to get a good cut from the barber.
Okay, well that's fine, because as soon as you said that, my first thought was, if you're a batter, that's a huge insult. But okay, you're a pitcher, so that's awesome.
I use AI to give me some ideas here, and my favorite was the barbershop, but then there is Will Barber's Cutting Edge.
Ooh.
Or if you had some closing thoughts, a close shave with Will Barber.
Oh, these are all good. Man, if we follow up, we'll do the aftershave.
There we go. Well, we are episode 14 now, so it's already like a third of the way the year done. We're into trimester 2. Trimester 1 was chaotic, but good. We had the rough start, but it is what it is, but we got through it. We pushed through, and we're in a much better place now. So with us going into trimester 2, we wanted to take a minute to kind of do a recap of all the fall activities and sports. So the first question kind of that we have is, what for you, what is your favorite memory from trimester 1? Not necessarily just sports or activities, just in general.
I think there was a lot of things that went into our facilities upgrades for our activities as a whole, and so I think that's probably the biggest memory for me, was opening those 3 stadiums to allow the number of programs that utilize it. Or football obviously comes to mind, soccer, marching band. The other thing that I wanted to highlight was that Columbia PE program is still using the facility.
Nice.
Even now with the weather change. I drove by last Thursday, I think it was, and a little chilly out there, but they're still utilizing it, playing, I think it was Ultimate Frisbee, or there was an activity going on out there. So opening up those facilities was the highlight for me. There was a lot of things that went into that. Community support obviously comes up with the levy support. And then obviously the development of the different fields and the programs that got a chance to play on that, practice on that. We have community Little League football teams that are playing on that. We have an adult football league that's going to start in June on the Columbia field. There's just so many different things that we can utilize it for. We have state tournament opportunities that are coming up. They'll finalize that for possible state soccer next fall on Columbia and Nampa's field. So, yeah, just opening those up, bringing in the community, bringing in Mayor Kling and other folks from her office to help us open that up and kick it off has been a highlight for me.
Yeah.
Well, and you mentioned the community use. I a few weeks ago for district soccer, didn't they need to move it from Caldwell over to us just because of field conditions, because it had been raining, and whatnot. So at first everybody's like, oh, this is just a football field, just football. But we kind of proved them wrong within the first few weeks, because we had a lot of soccer events, band, on the field, PE using it. It's no longer just a football field. It's a multi-purpose field. I mean, truly, when you look at it.
Absolutely. I think over at Skyview, Principal Young and the student body leaders put together a movie night out on the field tonight.
Nice.
So it's been used for a lot of different things already.
Yeah,
Those are just to name a few.
I can only imagine you, of course, as district activities director, you're hearing a lot of feedback from everybody, coaches, athletes. What are the things you've been hearing throughout the trimester?
I think during the trimester that we've been hearing, as far as activities, is that utilizing these facilities has been great, but also just the excitement of progress within our community, progress within our town. I think that's uplifting. We made a lot of changes over this last year. We did a boundary change. We did a schedule change at the high school level. We changed some different companies that support us. So there's just been a lot of change. And so seeing these facilities upgraded has been great for our community. And I think that's brought a lot of positive spirit to our campuses and our kids.
Yeah, that's what I was going to mention, that school spirit, because I've heard so many people just say not only has physically, like it's great to step on, there's no divots, there's no things to hurt your ankle on potentially. Of course, upkeep a lot easier. But also, one thing I've heard from a lot of the kids, and I would assume coaches as well, but from the kids, is just the pride they have now stepping on those fields. Is that something you've heard?
Yeah, just the quality of our facilities and being on par now with, let's say, West Ada and Boise. I think that brings a sense of pride to our kids, that our community thinks that way about them. To support them at that level, I think, is huge. So,
yeah.
Well, one thing for me is, looking at the Friday nights when I was able to put the drone up, get those sunsets. But it's not so much, we keep saying like it's not just football, but it's not, because the community was out there. It shows our community. I still have that one shot from, I think it was from Columbia, one of the first ones, and it's just awesome sky. But to see all the fans down there. And it just kind of brings goosebumps, just because it's one of those things where I grew up in a small town. We had 2,000 people. We're in a much bigger town here in Nampa, but it kind of brought me back when everybody would come out to support not just us on the field, but also everything, with us at the high school. So it's kind of a cool moment. And then seeing my pictures get shared around, the social webs and stuff, and they even printed it out. It's like, hey, I took that. That was fun.
You guys have done a great job promoting it, supporting it. And I think that's one of the things that I'm hearing out in the community is the appreciation for the process, seeing it along the way with different shots from the drone and just seeing the development of it. You guys did a great job of highlighting what was going on out there, what could be, what it could look like. And as it finished, obviously the finished product has been great. The other piece is the entrances to the 3 facilities as well, with the support of our district, with the support of booster clubs. I know over at Nampa, their booster club has worked really hard. Columbia has done the same thing. And if people get a chance, those are all finalized for the most part right now. So just walking into those facilities now is different than it has been past.
Yeah, it's real nice. We can all only hope to aspire to be the type of aerial photographer that this man over here, Tyler Keefe, is with that drone. It's real pretty shots he's been taking.
No, it's been fun. Well, enough about just the aesthetics of the field. So let's start talking about our students and their achievements. Let's start out with just randomly here with cross country. How did our teams do this year? Any specific accomplishments that you want to highlight?
I think all 3 schools competed at a high level. There's a lot of different highlights that we could go over, but I know that Camilla Freeman from Skyview was the district champion. Again, I believe she's a 2-time or 3-time district champion. I know for sure 2, because I've been there at least at one of those prior to this year. So then she went on to take second at the state meet at Eagle Island State Park a couple weeks ago. And
nice.
So that's one of the highlights there from cross country. But I think one of the things with cross country as we move into next year and the years after that is we will eventually get all of our schools in the 5A division together. Currently, most of the team sports are 5A, but right now cross country Nampa competes up at the 6A, and so just different by doing that. And so it'll be nice to get them all together, competing in the same division. So those are some of the things going on with cross country this year.
One thing I want to note or mention here before we get too deep into the other ones, because we are such a large district, there's probably a few accomplishments that we didn't get on this list, not on purpose or anything or anybody's fault. It's just we have so many awesome things going on that we might have missed a few. So if we did, we apologize. We're sorry about that, and we'll do our best for the trimester 2, the winter sports, to make sure we get every single thing we possibly can. So I just wanted to say that before we go into Matt's favorite sport of golf.
Yeah. Yeah, something I thrive at and have always been good at. Maybe just putting or 3-par stuff. But yeah, we don't hear much about golf in the high school realm in most cases, but it looks like Skyview boys did something pretty good.
Yeah, they qualified for the state tournament down in Burley as a team. They got in as a wild card. So because of the number of teams in the conferences, you get X amount of qualifiers to different state tournaments. They didn't qualify through the normal way, but they got in because of the depth of the quality of their schedule and things that they have done during the year. So they got in. They got 7th place at the state tournament at Burley.
Nice. All right. How about Tyler's favorite sport, volleyball?
Ooh, I do like volleyball, but more so on the beach than on the hardwood because that hurts when you fall.
Yeah, I think about my knees there.
I think volleyball, we could talk probably a whole segment just on volleyball. Volleyball is doing really well, not only in our district, but throughout the state. Columbia won the 5A championship.
Nice.
They went undefeated in the district tournament and were the number 1 seed from our district to get into the state tournament down in Idaho Falls in the Mount America Center there. It was actually a really cool state tournament this year, different than in years past where you played 2 matches side by side going on. This was one court with a divider between the 5A and the 6A. So you had the 5A and the 6A there at the Mount America. It was a great atmosphere, a great place to be. So, Columbia did really well. Nampa also did really well in the district tournament, just falling a little bit short getting in, but they improved a lot this year, and they were just one step away from going to that state tournament. So that was some good work there. And then Skyview moved up into the 6A. They petitioned up to play in that division, and they won the district championship and went on to take 2nd at the state tournament. So, some good volleyball going on here in the city of Nampa right now.
Yeah.
Well, especially when you think about it, when looking at the SIC, we had the 5A district champs at Columbia and the 6A at Skyview. So we had,
top two,
really top 2 classifications, winning districts, which is, it's cool to see. Volleyball is huge around here, and the culture around volleyball is huge. Going back to that community thing, it's just kind of just keeps building, keeps going, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Leading into probably what actually is our favorite sport of football. So, really quickly on the gridiron, how did everything look?
I saw a lot of great games this year. I'm obviously there for the opening of the facilities and just seeing how those things were going to go at football games and other events. Obviously, a lot of soccer games as well, but. I think our football programs are on the move. Nampa High right now is probably out at the forefront right now. They qualified for the state playoffs. They had a chance to take down Skyline, who's still alive right now.
Oh, wow.
They're in the finals. They played a tough game down in Pocatello against Skyline. So, Nampa High right now has got out in front right now and doing a good job. Columbia's program is on the move as well. They have a young program. They probably have a lot of young players that are coming back next year. Skyview had probably a pretty good mix. They played a lot of tough, close games, struggled early on in the season, and got better as the season went along. So I think overall football's in good shape in the city of Nampa with a lot of good things on the horizon, I believe.
Yeah, a lot of young teams, so we'll be excited to see what next year and maybe the year after even brings. Good stuff there. Now, here's one that seemed to me to be fully loaded with the district's swim team. A lot of state winners, or a lot of big time wins going on.
Our swim program's unique because we pool everybody together, and we have a team that's called Nampa United. And so we have the 3 comprehensive high schools, Columbia, Nampa, and Skyview, along with Nampa Christian and Liberty Charter, and then I believe a few homeschool students as well that compete. And so together during the regular season, they compete together as a whole team, and then they break off, and then they have to be attached to a school at that point. So Nampa Christian would have their own kids competing at that point through the district and the state tournament, as well as our comprehensive high school students. So it's a little bit different. They're all together, and then they're all together again, but they're competing individually. So just a little bit different there. They actually, from what I saw at the meets, they actually have a Nampa United swim cap, and then they go to their individual school cap. So they have another one that they put on when they represent their boundary school. Let's call it that.
Okay, gotcha. And a lot of big winners. One I think shout out. We will say, I know that Skyview Sadie Schaefer won. Was it two? What'd she win?
She won 2 events. I believe it was the 100
freestyle.
Freestyle. Yep.
Okay, and 200 freestyle too. Or am I making that up?
Might be 200. The 100 and the 200. I know that she's got a state record in the 100. Her own state record from last year, and then she broke that this year.
Nice.
So two-time at least state champion in that event, and then I believe she was part of a team state championship several years ago when she was a freshman or a sophomore. So yeah, some good stuff.
Good job, Nampa United.
Look, God, man, we're just having a tough time today with the transition. It's almost like it's Monday, but it's not. Next, going back to the field, looking at soccer, Nampa boys. I'm just going to go into it so we can just kind of move along here. Nampa boys finished second in district, and they were able to go to a state play-in game against the Moscow Bears. Aren't they the Bears?
Moscow Bears.
Moscow Bears.
Yeah, I knew that.
And they lost, unfortunately, 1-0 in that game, so they didn't make it to state. But soccer has been a fun thing to watch throughout the year, and the passion that those kids have for both the boys and the girls. It's just fun to see, and it's fun to see that sport grow more and more.
Yeah, there's a fine line between winning and losing in soccer. It's just you get off 10 great shots and you give up 1 shot and you lose 1-0. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a tough sport that way. And when you score, that's why there's so much excitement in soccer when somebody finally does score, because of how difficult it is to do that. And all of our teams, top to bottom across Nampa, competed really, really well this year. Just that margin to get into a state tournament is so tough, and then to get into a state tournament and win. Our district champion Valley View went on to win the 5A championship in the boys, and so and I believe our boys competed against Valley View, beat Valley View during the regular season, and competed really well. And so I think our girls and our boys soccer teams are on the rise again. Soccer, I think, probably is one that, again, just like volleyball, they're on the rise, and we have some strong programs that are building right now on the girls and the boys programs right now. And so we should look for great things. And having them to be able to play in that stadium atmosphere was really cool for Nampa and Columbia. Skyview had been playing in their stadium for a number of years on the grass, but now to get everybody in the stadium now, it's really cool. It's a nice atmosphere.
Great. Well, they don't call you the district activities director for no reason, as opposed to athletics director, because there are some activities, not necessarily athletics, that have gone down, I guess you can say, over the first trimester, and some big things in the marching band world, specifically for Columbia. Tell us about that.
We have some amazing marching bands here in Nampa. We have for a number of years, as long as I've been here. They compete, which is weird, is they compete in 3 different divisions. So in marching band, different than athletics, It's based on the number of kids that are participating in your program as opposed to the number of kids that are in your school enrolled.
Oh, okay.
And so Columbia competes in the small division, Skyview competes in the medium division, and then Nampa competes in the large division. So all three are very, very competitive within those three divisions. Columbia took home almost everything, if I remember right, at the D3 competition. And there was quite a few things that we could recap, but all three, Nampa received quite a few awards in the large, which is a very difficult division. Timberline has been really, really tough in that large division now for probably 5 or 6 straight years. Nampa's been right there with them, battling for that top spot. I know Columbia has done a great job in that small division for a number of years as well. And Skyview's program is on the rise again. They were up there 3 or 4 years ago at the top of the divisions. Excuse me, but they are getting better and better each year. And so, our marching programs are so strong in Nampa. If folks haven't got a chance to get out to see them perform in some of the events that lead up to the D3 competition, they need to get out and see them.
Yeah, nice.
No, the marching bands have been fun, and our community loves them. I mean, let's just put it how it is. It's one of their favorite things is watching the marching bands. And a few weeks ago, we had a NSD marching band spotlight at Nampa High with Nampa and Skyview. Unfortunately, Columbia couldn't be there because they were performing that night at their last home game. So I was able to see all three of them in one night, and which is just a spectacle right there in and of itself to see the three marching bands. I've always loved marching bands. They're fun, but just how good they are. Because you can go to some high schools and you're just like, what is that? They try to play the national anthem and it comes out like just some random song that doesn't sound anything like it. But our bands are good. And, to D3 talk about that, from what I've read, there's a bit of controversy because Nampa played really, really, really well. But because it all comes down to human and judging, that's how, how the cards lie or whatever.
The Russian judge got him, right?
Yeah. I wasn't going to say that, but no, it's been fun, and all around just past 3 months that's been the highlight. I know for Matt, coming in, being able to see just what our kids are able to do, how they can perform, and their accomplishments. Yeah. I'm excited for the winter to see what's coming up. We got boys, girls basketball, wrestling, dance teams, cheer teams. Any other activities that I left out there? Because I know the concert band stuff is starting.
Concert band is starting. We also have our pep bands that go to some of those events. Those are fun. Those kids have a lot of fun at those events. They're starting to branch out as well. I know some of them are going to wrestling matches now, not just basketball games during the wintertime. So they're having a lot of fun. There's a lot of activities that are going on now, getting going right now in the wintertime. Girls basketball kicked off last Friday, I believe was the first game. And so we'll have an assortment of events as we go through the holiday season coming up.
Yeah, looking forward to that. So with the change, I wanted to ask you, with the change to the trimester system for the first time this school year, what kind of differences have you noticed, if any, with sports and activities?
I think it fits really nicely. We've got to get used to it. Typically, for the eligibility piece of athletics and activities, the previous semester, so it would have been this spring semester last spring, for eligibility for fall activities. Now we have a trimester where we just completed last week. So the winter activities, that first trimester is their eligibility going into that season. So obviously we want kids to do really well in all of the trimesters, but different than in the years past where we're in the semesters, that piece helps support, I think, higher levels of performance in the classrooms because of those things go hand in hand. We want our kids to do well in the classroom, number one, and then do well in their activities that they're performing in as well.
Yeah, that's great extra incentive to make sure the kids are keeping up with their books. And if you want to play basketball, then you're a football player, you want to play basketball, you better keep up with those books as well. Gotcha.
Yeah, so with that, we're going to wrap things up here. And the one question that I asked the boys basketball coaches my random question. You probably know where I'm going with this, but just in case people haven't been listening, when you go to a basketball game, wrestling match, inevitably you're going to stop by the concession stand. So, what is your go-to gym food?
The people that know me out there, the 5 listeners that are out there right now listening, know that the first thing I do at every event that I go to, for the most part, is get a bag of popcorn.
We've heard
That's a popular one.
I'm a big popcorn guy. I love them. Most of our concession stands here in the Nampa School District have excellent popcorn, and then that's my go-to.
So can you rank the 3 then? Who has the best popcorn out of the 3? They're all good. I'll admit that, but who just does it just that much better?
I'd say right now the district office has pretty good popcorn.
Okay.
It doesn't get popped nearly as much as I'd like it to get popped. Maybe I need to get on that. But yeah, there's pretty good popcorn all over and all the district. The middle school Lone Star's popcorn's pretty good.
I've heard that.
I've been going to middle school events quite a bit in my new role, and I got to throw a shout out to Lone Star. There's another thing, if I could just take 30 seconds to talk. Our middle school of activities this fall, just going to all of the different events and different things going on. We have a lot of people working really, really hard. Our coaches, our activity directors. I just think that there's a lot of good things going on in our middle schools, and maybe that's a segment for another time, is to talk about maybe our middle school activities next year.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to mention on your question really quick is how Columbia High School has, in a way, not destroyed, but made me feel guilty. Because if you've been at any of the football games, for anybody listening, there's a good chance at a couple of them you've seen me and my little daughter Josie running around on the sideline getting shots, my little 4-year-old. She discovered, because I brought her inside when we were leaving one day, she discovered cotton candy at Columbia. And now it turned into, I think that was the first Columbia game we went to. Anytime we were at Columbia, she knew when we were leaving, we had to go get cotton candy. I said, little baby, it's too late. It's too late. It's like almost 9 o'clock or 8:30 or something. We can't do this. Okay, let's go get you cotton candy. So that's where she discovered cotton candy at Columbia, and she'll never be the same.
Never. Well, thanks for joining us again.
Yeah.
As always. I mean, you're always welcome.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure. Come back anytime. Come hang out with any of the coaches or anybody else we have, and it's a pleasure. And thanks for the big recap. A lot of great things that happened this trimester with all our students, coaches, teams, and whatnot. And we're excited to see what they're going to do in the winter.
It's been a great fall. Thanks.
And with that, thank you all for listening to episode 14 of the Nampa School District Podcast. We will see you actually on Thursday, because we have this is a 2-for week with Doc Haskell, the Boise State's esports coach.
Yeah, should be a great episode. We'll see you then.
Thanks, guys.
Hooray! We did it.
Just so many activities.